I am so excited this morning to introduce our guest speaker. So as you might have noticed, I've sort of taken the month of October off. Gone last week. Thank you. Yeah, celebrating my month of birthday. And I'm very excited to have our guest speaker with us this morning and to be here to experience him. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information, and then I'm going to bring him on up here so we can give him some CLF love. So I could tell you about Reverend Mark Anthony Lord, that he is an agape-trained practitioner and minister, that he started the Bodhi Spiritual Center in Chicago and was its senior minister for 10 years, and it grew from, nothing to 600, 700 people, some crazy number like that, a lovely number like that. I could tell you that since he has left and gone out of his own, that he's a spiritual innovator and a very inspirational speaker and facilitator, author of a number of books, and just an all-around cool guy, if you ask me. I could tell you all those things, but I'm not going to. What I want to say about him instead is that there was once a minister of ministers who coached other ministers. And one of the ministers that this minister of ministers was coaching asked him, well, if you could give me one piece of advice for really inspiring my congregation every single Sunday, what would it be? And the minister of ministers said, do one thing. And here is it. Set yourself on fire for God, and then just show up and let them watch you burn. That is what Mark Anthony Lord does. Come on up here. All right, so we want to give him some CLF love, and this is how we do it. You get your hands all energized, right? And we send it out, and if you would just repeat after me. First of all, give a nice big sigh. I open my heart to your words. I open my heart to your wisdom. I open my heart to your love. I am so glad you are here. Welcome to CLF.
Thank you so much. So honored to be here. I really am. I wish you would have been at the earlier service. I taught him how to walk on water, so we'll see what happens here. I don't know. I can only do that once a day. So maybe we'll do the water to wine trick. How about that one? These all happen in consciousness, of course. They're transformations of consciousness. One of the things I also do is I do a lot of teaching and speaking on healing the world of homophobia. I'm a gay man and was born into a Catholic blue-collar world and believed for the first 20 years of my life that I was going to hell and lived in the misery and suffering of that. And then I had a very profound spiritual experience where I heard God say to me, you're fine, there's no problem here, just be you, were the simple words of it, but it was a vibration, it was a healing within me. And so I'm so grateful for that. And so I help other people, especially LGBT people, awaken to that I'm okay part of them so they can live that and then enjoy that. But what I also want to do, and this is my point, is those of you straight people, you allies, I really want to honor you because you make a difference. And you don't know, I don't think you're aware. You're just like, you're okay, you're fine with me. And that's but that's a gift you're giving. When someone doesn't feel okay about themselves and you greet them with your heart and just say, thanks for, you're fine with me. I love you as you are. That is profound. Now, I'll be honest, I don't get that guy-girl action thing. That's weird to me. That's odd. I know God made you that way. So I know it's not your fault or your choice. It's not your choice. But I'm really serious. Your love makes a difference. So if no one thanked you for being an ally, if no one thanked you for doing something that comes so naturally to you, then please accept that from me today, that the world thanks you. So, all right. So we are here to talk about community today. And I know how important community is for us. More, I think, than ever before. We live in a high-tech, low-touch world. High-tech, low-touch world where we're moving so fast and there's information exploding around us more than we can comprehend. I know that the new generations coming in, their brains are literally being wired differently than ours, but we're the bridge people that are trying to figure it out and keep up as best as we can. And at some point, we all throw the phones aside and just use it for a phone. But it's not going to be a slowdown around this information. There's nothing going to slow down there. I think it will reach something, perhaps in our lifetime. But what's more important is for us to get back to some basics around the importance of being together as people and being inside of community and allowing ourselves to be in the center of the healing vibration that spiritual community gives us. I know you know that because you're here. But my hope today is to inspire you to find out where is your edge and how can you expand even beyond that. See, one of the biggest lies that we're facing today in this world, and I bet you could fill in the blank, there's not enough time. There's not enough time. That is one of the biggest lies. We live in an infinite universe and in a timeless experience of God. God is timeless, forever expanding. You are one with God. Do you get the problem? There is not enough is a lie. And there's not enough time has been something that, if you will, the ego has seduced us into believing so that you can then have your excuses for not being connected to people and having to back up and protect and protect and protect until you're disconnected. And that's when the ego's game wins. That's when fear's game wins. When you become disconnected from others. I'm a 12-stepper since 23 years old. Yeah, I know I'm good about it now, but let me tell you something. Sitting in those meetings at 23 with a bunch of old people who are probably 40. I'm like, my friends get to go out partying and I have to be in here in the church basement with old people. But I'm alive. I'm alive today. I know that. I know that today. But there's something profound about that community because the people who join it often join it reluctantly, as I did. Maybe you didn't. And the fear of going into that is profound because you really think you're going to lose something. You don't know you're going to become something. You're just aware you're going to lose something. But you see, hanging out with the old family and friends who know you as broken and as the addict and as the mess up and as the one that, does what they do, that doesn't elevate me into anything more. So I had to turn away from that conversation and I had to step through the door into a new conversation. And who met me there were people who said to me, "Oh, that's not who you are. You're possible. You can heal that. That's not a problem," because they had done it. So I had to walk through those doors and keep walking through those doors, and I had to let myself be transformed by what they knew. They had living water for me, and I had to drink it and drink it and drink it until I became that. I know I wouldn't be alive today had I not done that. I got that. So I'm on borrowed time. God, use me however you want. I'm really on borrowed time. But we don't need to just be bottomed out addicts to find this living water because that living water is here. It is here. And it's a little more, I feel bad for people who aren't addicts. If you're not one, get an addiction. Get one. Find something. Because you can be seduced just enough with one of the most painful things, which is, it's fine. I'm okay. You can just stay a little bit asleep and just kind of coast. But you're not here to coast. You're here to connect. You're here to belong. You're here to be a part of something. And this community is here to elevate those who want to be a part of it. And I know you're here, but are you here a lot? Are you here giving of your time and your talent? Are you being a taker? Let's be real obvious, real honest about it. I ran a community actually for 11 years. And I will tell you, lots of people came through my doors. Too many takers. It made me crazy. I'll just be honest. It made me crazy. People that would come take and disappear. And I understand everyone's doing the best they can do. But let's make today a day where you can do better. Where you say, yes, I want to receive. Yes, you're here to receive. And there's so much given here. It's amazing. But you really start receiving the day you start giving back. The day you start giving back is the day a whole new world opens up. I could have gone to those 12-step meetings every single day, but I didn't come alive in the community until my sponsor said to me, volunteer to make the coffee, which between me and you is very beneath me. I didn't get that making the coffee meant belonging and serving and getting to know people's names and being seen, which was the last thing I wanted. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be known. I want you to think I'm magnificent. Then I'm going to flit out the room before you really know me. That was my best game. But to stay in the room and be seen when I feel like I'm really crumbling on the inside and have people love me, you know that's the healing. To allow yourself to stay in the room when someone else bumps up against you and you don't like how you feel and you decide not to run finally, that's where the miracle is. You have a great little talent that you've been given this talent, but you've been misusing it. So I'm going to out you on this if you don't mind. You do this thing called projection. And projection simply means that when someone is next to you and you don't like something about yourself, you just take it out and you project it onto them. And then you go, ooh, I don't like that over there. And you forgot that you actually started with it here. And the only reason you see it is because it's in you. And the only reason you're judging it is because you don't like it in you. So projection keeps you safe from introspection. But projection doesn't reveal God. So when you start waking up, there comes a point where everyone you see that you don't like, you need to say, I am that. But we don't say I am that with shame and blame. I do not shame and blame myself about anything. I really don't. I'll fall down 1,000 times. I'm like, that's all right, sweet baby, get up. That's all right. That's just what I do. That's just what I do. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine. My husband's like, you keep doing that? I'm like, I know. I know that's what I do until I don't. It's what I do until I don't. But my acceptance of self allows that to change more quickly, right? And to the same way, when I see something in someone else, I really want to take ownership of it because this is the metaphysics. This is the reality. Hear this. You are seeing a movie that's in your mind. It's so trippy. There's nobody else here except for you and your reflections. You are the one. I know that's mind-blowing. And don't try to figure it out. You can't understand it mentally. You just have to have an experience of, I am the one. And as the one with the creative powers and abilities of God, I am creating an entire world out of my beliefs. And I believe some people are poor. I believe some people are rich. I believe there are some people that have this. There are some people that have that. I believe I'm making up all of it. You have no idea how mighty you are as creator. Like you get it. Like breathe. You're creating the stoplights. You're creating the stores. You are literally creating your reality. And if you don't want to get into the physical part, that's fine. You're creating your experience of this reality. How's that? We can make it a little easier. You are creating your experience of everything. And you're looking through the filters of your mind, your creation. Now, these filters come from ancestry. These filters come from race consciousness. These filters come from your community beliefs. These filters come from your experiences. And much of it lives in the subconscious world. So don't worry about it. And you don't need to figure it out. Again, look at your world. What are you seeing? That's what's in your subconscious mind. It always fascinates me when people go, I don't know what it is. I'm like, well, what's happening today? What's happening? That's what it is. The world as your creation is mirroring back to you what it is. And all we need to do as metaphysicians is manage our world. I would say, I can only handle what's in my hula hoop today. And when you take care of what's in your hula hoop and you love the ones you're with, and you get giving yourself and sharing yourself and healing yourself, and you bump up against the people in your hula hoop and you start to heal that, then God will expand your hula hoop. And then your hula hoop will become larger and larger. And your capacity to be a vibration of love is very, very profound. But we can't bypass the hula hoop we're in first. We can't go out into the world and love all these strangers and not be able to stand the person you're sleeping with. It just doesn't work. So let's just get real about this. And the way we heal that is by coming to a community like this, showing up, joining a team, giving ourselves, and bumping up against each other, and turning to prayer, and staying in the game, and owning our parts. These are the things we're learning. It is a spiritual psychology and an emotional healing that is available to us today that was never available to our ancestors. I remember saying to my grandmother a long time ago, I was so little, I remember this. I said, "Are you happy, Grandma?" And she goes, "What are you talking about? Get out of here." And I remember, and I went to my mom, I'm like, "That's what she said," and my mom didn't have anything to say. But I know now that question was, she didn't ask that question. That wasn't a possible, I mean, she was whatever that was, but that way that I was thinking is she couldn't understand. It was a crazy idea. Today, we get to ask that question. That's evolution. You get to say, am I happy? Because you know you can be happy. The Course in Miracles says, do you want to know what your job is in the world? It is simply be happy. Doesn't that piss you off? That makes me mad. I have to be happy? It's that simple? It's that simple to be happy inside myself and then to experience that happiness with my brothers and sisters, because my brothers and sisters are my reflection. And to the point that I can see their innocence and their freedom and their love, that too I can see me. And our brothers and sisters are the place where we experience our salvation. Don't trip out on that word being the Christian word. Salvation, being saved from fear. That's what we need to be saved from that. And we need each other to do it. We need each other to be saved from fear. We need each other because I need you to witness the parts in me that I deem as unacceptable, the shadow parts, right? We've got these shadow parts, are the part of you that's competitive, the part of you that thinks it's not fair, the part of you that wants to have it all. Of course, you've been very domesticated. You're very polite people. You don't show those parts. You show your nice part. But you know there's a shadow in there, and I know there's a shadow in there. So here, in a beautiful community like this with the power of prayer, we bring that shadow up to the light. Not in judgment, just in this is here. We offer it to the light, and the light transforms it. Right? It's also interesting. I think I talked about this with the practitioners last weekend. I don't remember. Did we talk about the golden shadow? Oh, okay. Well, that's new for them too. So we have the shadow, but we also have a golden shadow that we don't talk enough about. And the golden shadow represents the part of us that we have put under the lid because we don't want to shine too brightly. We don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable, right? Who was told when they were little, who do you think you are? Right? Okay. A lot of us. Who do you think you are? Don't, or miss, don't get too big for your britches. All those silly little sayings, which really were like, keep it down, play small, don't make anybody else uncomfortable. That has caused us to have a golden shadow, which is all of your glorious gifts that you have hidden. When I was a kid, I come from a very musical family. And I played the piano. We all played piano and different instruments. And we were going to a competition one day, my brother and I, who's a year older than me. And he learned Flight of the Bumblebee, which is a really, really, really hard piece. I mean, he worked for hours. And I played some Bach thing. I basically was like, what do I know the best? I'll just play that. I just showed up. And so we went to the day of competition, and we were on 2 separate tracks in our competitions, and he got third, which was devastating for him because he worked so hard. I got first, which didn't make sense and pissed my brother off to no end that I had first place. And we were walking out, and I've got my little blue ribbon, and he's got his gold or whatever ribbon. And my mom said to me, let's not talk about this. So basically, she's the one who dragged me into this thing to compete. And so I do, and I get the blue ribbon, and now I'm not supposed to talk about it because it will make him feel bad. And I get it. I was there, trust me. I get it. And I get how bad my brother felt because he worked so hard. I just had a natural gift for this. I get it looking back. I didn't get it then. But he had to technically work hard, but he just never could quite make music. I just made music and didn't even think about it. It just was what it was. But I was told, keep that down. Don't cause other people pain with your gifts, right? By the way, I was sharing with Reverend Sally, my brother did fine. He went to Annapolis Academy for college, and he's a pilot, and he's quite a smart guy. I could never have got into Annapolis, and he could never play the piano as great as I do, right? So, but the lesson of keep your light down, this also is why this place is so necessary. Because this place says, when you walk through the doors, be willing to say, I am one with God. Be willing to say, I am magnificent. Be willing to say, I am here to express and share my gifts with the world. This is what you're here to say. And I get that that's uncomfortable. But there's no going back, really. You can step out and disappear, and you can sort of put your foot in and out once in a while. But once you've walked through the doors, game over. Now it's just a matter of time. And it's up to you. Do you want to waste time, or do you want to dive in and soar? That's what this community is here for. The opposite, back to the addiction. We used to think that the opposite of addiction is sobriety. That makes sense, right? What has been revealed over the past couple of years, which I think is really cool, is a different idea, a more expanded idea, which is the opposite of addiction is connection. Connection. There was an experiment done with a rat, and he was put into a maze by himself. And there were 2 drips. One was heroin, one was water. And the rat got hooked on the heroin and had the heroin until he killed himself. Then they did a different experiment. They had another maze with fun things to do and other rats in there. And then they took another rat and they put him in the maze by himself with heroin and water. The rat became addicted to heroin. Then they took that rat and put him in the maze with the other rats and the playthings and the water and the heroin, which were both options. All of the rats were choosing the water. And the rat that was addicted to heroin healed itself and only drank the water because it was connected. It was playing. We've got so many subtle addictions. I don't know why I'm talking about addiction today, but whoever's here to hear it, I hope you are. We have so many subtle addictions, mental addictions, obsessions. As we peel away the layers, we see more and more of the subtle things that live behind it. And let's face it, we're all addicted to thoughts, to negativity, to fears. And those things become so large that eventually we have to numb ourselves out, whether it's eating the Fritos or the ice cream or watching whatever's on internet until we can't keep our eyes open, or acting out sexually, emotionally, whatever it is. We eventually need to numb that pain. But if we can stay related to that pain, and if we can stay connected to each other, that's the healing path. Are you getting how important being connected to community is? And sharing yourself with community. It's so easy not to. It's so easy. And I'll be very, very honest. I travel all over working with churches. And the thing that makes me upset is how easy they make it for you. I'm being very honest. It's so easy for you to come and get all this good and just wander off. And there's not enough of an intentional relationship built where it's like, we need you. You need us. It's a relationship that has to be equal. You can take for a while, but there comes a point, and think about it this way. If you're dating someone and every single time it's all about them, hopefully there's going to come a point where you go, this isn't a two-way street. And I'm not going to beg you to stay. This just isn't for me. Like, you want someone that's seeing you and you're seeing them and you're sharing like this. That's true on individual relationships. That's true with relationships with communities and with groups of people. You've got to have that reciprocal nature for it to rise up into a level of fulfillment. That's where you come alive. That's where the problems rise up. That's where you'll bump into each other. But don't worry about that. We got prayer. We got lots of good things for you to take care of that. So my invitation as a guy from Chicago, go Cubs, right? Come on. I'm not even a baseball guy at all, but I had the weird thing happen where our next door neighbor is actually a second baseman of the Cubs. I know, weird. And so we were getting to know them. They're lovely people, and so I got into it, and it is kind of fun. That's a way a side story. By the way, since I'm all over the place, you want to talk about prosperity? Live next to someone who makes over $1 million a month. I know. That's really profound. I was like, that's good creating, Mark Anthony Lord. Now just move it from their house to my house. I'm this close. I am this close. That's how I'm seeing the world. Wow, look at me. I can touch it. My creation. My creation. So, my invitation to you, if you want to learn to walk on water, if you want to learn to change water into wine, if you want to be a mystical, awakened being, which you are, give yourself to this beautiful community. Dive in more. Give your time, give your talent, give your resources. And if this isn't your community, find your community. Run to it. But it's time to belong. It's time to connect. That's where the healing is. And I know that's scary because you still believe you don't have enough time. Because you still believe that you can mess it up and someone's going to shame you or laugh at you. Because you still are a little afraid of bumping into yourself as other and then healing that. But that's what we're here to play. And that's what this beautiful, loving center is here for. Are you with me? Take a deep breath on that. Breathe that in. Open your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. I invite the practitioners and ministers, please stand and join me up here. I stand on their shoulders. Open your eyes for a minute. These are your ministers and practitioners. They have given time and much time to learn the art of prayer and to expand their consciousness, knowing the wholeness and the oneness. They are here to serve you. Damana, stand up. They all stood up behind. No, just my friend here. You can all stand up if you want to. She's a practitioner from Chicago. She's moved here to Arizona. So I stand on their shoulders. Open your hands. Lift your chin up, revealing your heart to be receptive. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Just breathe, please. God is, I am. The most profound words that exist. And from those 4 words, life unfolds, creation occurs. And knowing my oneness with the divine, knowing my oneness with the healing power of God itself, the revealing power of God itself, I know that I don't stand alone with these gifts. We meet in the agreement that we are that. As I am the healing power, presence, joy, and love of God, I know that each one of us is the healing power, presence, joy, and love of God. And I know that flowing through this prayer is a profound vibration of healing and miracles. So if they are flowing through to you, let them have you. Let them come to your heart. Let them come into your head. There is literally a flowing energy of healing. Breathe it in. Let it heal your body. Let it heal your mind. Let it heal your emotions. Let it cut the cords to the past and dissolve the stories of lack and limitation. Let this prayer unplug your I am that you have attached to every false idea. And let this prayer plug your I am into the golden shadow of oneness and joy and freedom and power. Take a breath. It is with great joy that I speak this prayer, knowing that my words truly do create, and that there is a healing going on in this room. That we are being healed of the fear. We are being healed of the isolation. We're being healed of the belief that we are separate from each other. Oh God, the glory of being is here in me, and in and as each one of us. Inside yourself, I give myself to you, God. I give myself to you, God. I surrender. I'm done holding on. I'm done controlling. I'm done trying to make life happen, which doesn't work anyway. I give myself to love. Say that out loud. I give myself to love. I give myself to love. I give myself to love. Deep breath. Oh God, use this amazing community. Help these people to know how brilliant their light is and how important it is in this city and the surrounding areas. Help these people know that they need to talk about this community. They need to share this light. They need their people outside these doors who are hurting and suffering and don't know how to do life. And they need to be here. And it is our responsibility to tell them about this light. God, give us the words. God, give us the courage. Keep us, break open these walls. We're done hiding. We are here to be love. We are healers. We are revealers. And so I know that this prayer goes out beyond these walls, and it reaches into the households where there is sadness and fear. To those who don't know how to pay their bills today, God is where they are. And if that's you in this room, this is your prayer. To those who don't know how to heal their relationships, God is where they are. To those who are moving into separation and divorce and being done and complete, God, give them a new vision, a new idea that completion can be beautiful. To all those who are holding in their physical body stuck false beliefs about themselves, which are coming out as dis-ease and pain, God, guide them right through that portal, through the pain, through the disease, right to where the false belief is, and uproot that so that they are no longer in pain. Our God is a mighty God. Our God is a healing God. Our God is right within us and as us. And so I'm grateful for this prayer. I'm grateful for that which has been said and for the greater power that is behind the words. I release this prayer now into the action of the law, knowing that it is done. I let it be. And so it is. Amen and amen.